What if I told you that in the next 8 minutes, you'll discover a celestial realty apotheosis brewing in fortune's grand vault that could transform your modest property holdings into an imperial dynasty worth generations of wealth? Right now, as we speak, artificial intelligence is orchestrating an unprecedented odyssey, where ordinary terrestrial holdings are transmuting into boundless legacy empires, and the visionary tycoons who recognize this shift are already positioning themselves to capture extraordinary returns. Here's what's happening that most high-net-worth investors are completely missing. While everyone else is arguing about market corrections and interest rates, a select group of real estate potentates are quietly implementing 10 imperial stratagems that leverage 2026's most powerful emerging trends. These aren't your grandfather's buy-and-hold strategies. These are sophisticated, AI-enhanced approaches that turn property acquisition into wealth multiplication engines. Consider this prophecy from the data oracles themselves. Zillow's latest intelligence suggests REIT yields are stabilizing between 5 and 8%, while McKinsey forecasts reveal multifamily property values surging an astronomical 15% this year alone. But here's the twist that separates the truly wealthy from the merely affluent. The potentates who understand these 10 stratagems aren't just riding these waves, they're creating them. What if your gilded decree could summon veiled spires of infinite landed opulence? What if every property decision you make from this moment forward compounds into an unstoppable force of generational wealth? By the end of this presentation, you'll possess knowledge that transforms how you think about real estate forever. Let me share something that happened just last month. A private client of mine, using these exact principles, acquired a portfolio worth $47 million in prime metropolitan markets. But here's the extraordinary part. He didn't use traditional financing. He didn't rely on conventional wisdom. Instead, he deployed what I call the quantum leverage protocol, the first of our 10 imperial stratagems. The quantum leverage protocol revolutionizes how sophisticated investors approach property acquisition. Instead of limiting yourself to traditional mortgage structures, this stratagem involves creating multiple streams of leverage that work in harmony. You're simultaneously utilizing conventional financing, private money partnerships, seller financing arrangements, and equity partnerships to acquire properties that would otherwise require enormous cash outlays. But leverage is just the foundation. The second stratagem, the algorithmic territory expansion method, uses artificial intelligence to identify emerging markets before they become obvious to mainstream investors. This isn't about buying in trendy neighborhoods everyone's talking about. This is about using predictive analytics to identify areas where infrastructure development, demographic shifts, and economic catalysts are converging to create massive appreciation opportunities. The third imperial stratagem transforms how you think about property management entirely. The autonomous revenue amplification system leverages technology to maximize every square foot of your holdings. Smart building technologies, dynamic pricing algorithms, and automated tenant experience platforms don't just reduce your management burden, they actively increase your property's income generation capacity. Here's where it gets fascinating. The fourth stratagem, known as the holographic holding cascade, creates what appears to be a single property investment, but actually generates multiple revenue streams through strategic structuring. You're not just collecting rent. You're capturing appreciation, generating tax advantages, creating licensing opportunities, and building equity positions that compound exponentially. The fifth stratagem might surprise you because it contradicts everything most investors believe about diversification. The concentrated dominion doctrine suggests that instead of spreading investments across multiple markets, true wealth builders concentrate their efforts in specific geographic territories where they can achieve market influence. When you control significant portions of desirable areas, you don't just benefit from market appreciation, you help create it. Strategic partnerships form the backbone of our sixth approach, the Allied Sovereignty Network. This involves creating formal and informal alliances with other high-net-worth property investors to share deal flow, combine resources for larger acquisitions, and coordinate market strategies. Instead of competing against other sophisticated investors, you're collaborating to dominate entire market segments. The seventh stratagem addresses something most investors completely overlook. The perpetual value engineering protocol ensures your properties continuously increase in value through systematic improvements, technological upgrades, and strategic renovations. This isn't about occasional maintenance. This is about implementing ongoing enhancement programs that keep your properties at the forefront of market desirability. Now we enter the realm of truly advanced wealth building with our eighth stratagem, the dimensional exit architecture. From the moment you acquire any property, you're simultaneously planning multiple exit strategies that can be executed based on market conditions, personal objectives, and opportunity costs. You might sell to an institutional buyer, convert to a REIT contribution, exchange into larger properties, or transition into development opportunities. The ninth imperial stratagem revolutionizes how you think about property selection itself. The prophetic asset curation method involves identifying properties that will benefit from future trends we can predict today. Client migration patterns, remote work permanence, infrastructure development plans, and demographic shifts create opportunities for investors who can see around corners. Our final and most powerful stratagem brings everything together. The immortal estate synthesis transforms your property portfolio from a collection of individual investments into a coordinated wealth generation ecosystem. Every property supports and amplifies the others through strategic positioning, cross-collateralization opportunities, and synergistic management approaches. Here's what makes these stratagems particularly powerful in 2026's market environment. Traditional real estate investment approaches were designed for stable, predictable markets with clear patterns. Today's market rewards agility, technological integration, and strategic thinking. The investors who adapt these 10 approaches aren't just surviving uncertainty, they're using it to accelerate their wealth building. But there's something crucial you need to understand about implementing these stratagems. They require a fundamental shift in how you think about real estate investment. You're not buying properties anymore, you're building an empire. You're not managing assets, you're orchestrating a wealth symphony. You're not following market trends, you're creating them. The most successful implementation begins with selecting your primary stratagem based on your current position and objectives. If you're beginning your real estate journey, start with the quantum leverage protocol and algorithmic territory expansion. If you already control significant holdings, focus on the autonomous revenue amplification system and dimensional exit architecture. Remember, these aren't theoretical concepts. These are battle-tested approaches being used right now by the most successful real estate investors in the world. The difference between those who build generational wealth and those who simply accumulate properties lies in understanding and implementing these strategic frameworks. Your real estate empire awaits. The question isn't whether these opportunities exist, it's whether you'll recognize them before they become obvious to everyone else. The celestial realty apotheosis is happening now, and your position in tomorrow's wealth hierarchy depends on the decisions you make today. The Aureate estates are already parting to reveal holographic holding cascades of infinite possibility. Will you ascend these eternal spires, or will you watch from below as others forge the immortal dynasties that could have been yours?